actually sleep again, and if my esophagus becomes eroded with acid. So hey guys, so it is June 20. I have no idea. Yesterday it was Monday, so that's a start. So today is probably Tuesday. I barely have any idea what day it is in general, and then having just switched to night shift, it's just like, it's a lost cause. June 23rd at 7:49. I have been up for probably an hour and a half due to this new thing that I'm dealing with on prep. And I have been chugging along, just feeling really good for weeks. This has been a 16-week prep, so I've got 10 weeks down, 6 weeks to go, just under 6 weeks, 6-ish weeks. And I don't know why, this week I just had a hard time. I got everything done, I got all my workouts in, still getting all my workouts in. My check-ins are on Thursday, so I think of it like Thursday to Thursday. I'm getting everything done, but I did have a bad day on Friday when I had a breakdown in the parking lot of the gym. I kind of knew it was building when I was driving there. I had the previous day woken up at 9 a.m, gone to get my hair cut. That was like a 6-hour thing of dyeing and actually cutting it. And then I just had enough time. I was going to come home and take a nap before I went to work that night. But instead I was like, you know what? I need to do my cardio. I don't want to have to make up for it on my one rest day of the week. So I went and did cardio instead, which I was feeling fine because I had gotten 9 hours of sleep the night before. But by that next morning, because my shift is 6:40 to about 7:40 p.m. to a.m., by that next morning I was like, okay, I'm pretty tired. I've been up, 24 hours now, and I'm exhausted. Like, I'm not running on a lot of food, pretty tired. So I woke up, I was able to sleep for 4 hours after that, and it's just like this new pattern where like I can only sleep for 3 or 4 hours at a time, and then I'm just wide awake. I'm not tired, I don't have to pee. I just like wake up and I'm just like ready to go. I start thinking about, okay, here's what I gotta do today, here's my checklist. And it's like my brain comes on and I can't turn it off. So it's kind of a struggle because I feel like I'm like fighting my body. My body is telling me to get up, and my brain is saying, hey, you're gonna regret this. And I'm someone who needs like a lot of sleep. Like, I've always been in like 8 to 10 hours, and I can usually easily sleep 12 hours. So it's pretty weird to have to deal with this. I've never had this issue. So I've been really frustrated about it, and I was able to get 6 hours yesterday and felt significantly better. My weight dropped like 2.5 pounds, which I was really thankful for, and I knew that my weight was stuck because of my sleep. I posted that on my story, so you can see where my weight was a few pounds higher because I had only had like 4 hours of sleep, and then like the next 2 days I was able to get that 6 hours, and it dropped. So goes hand in hand, it really matters, which is why I'm like stressing about not sleeping, and then I'm sleeping and not sleeping, and I'm stressing when I'm not sleeping. It's a whole thing. So what I came to terms with this morning, I did some research. I think that this is a common thing in prep this is kind of new to me, but it sounds like everyone kind of deals with this at some point, or most people do. And you know, you can't just lay in bed. Like, that's the worst thing, because then you associate the bed with being awake. So you need to, if you're really awake, you need to just get up, do what you can, and then nap when you can, and take advantage of any sleep you can get throughout the day. In my brain, it's like everything needs to be on point, so it's hard not to think, oh my gosh, if I don't get 7 hours, it affects my cortisol, it affects my hormones, I'm already on night shift, so my sleep schedule's already messed up. I'm gonna fail because this huge factor is completely out of whack in the process. But the truth is, you have to focus on your controllables, just like anything in life, and what I've been preaching throughout like this year of chaos. You have to focus on your controllables. And at this point, I thought sleep was a controllable. Now, sleep is not a controllable. It's a manipulativable or something. You could change factors around it. I can change supplementation before sleep. I can try to manage cortisol levels. I can decrease my screen time or light. I got a gravity blanket, which is fire, by the way. I will link that. And then, I mean, the rest is like just the body's response to this form of extreme stress. So I'm just gonna go with it. I decided, instead of laying in bed stressed this morning thinking, you have 2 more hours, only 2 more hours before you have to get up. It's like, you know what? I'm awake. I feel good. I feel awake. I just know it'll hit me later. And it's like, dang. I'm just gonna get up, go do my cardio. I have a massage at 1, so I might get some work done before then. And then if I can take a nap, great. And if not, I'll do legs full force, best of my capacity. And we're just gonna go with it. It's all about making the most out of each day. And sometimes every time, you have to just go with what you're given. And if you're given 2 hours of sleep, that's gonna be that. So I'm making my morning drink, which I showed you guys the other day. All the normal stuff. However, I did get this awesome thing from a company called Trilogia. So I was taking ascorbic acid, vitamin C, which is just powder. Sorry, I got greens powder all in my fingernail. But they sent me this, which is a liposomal vitamin C. And liposomal vitamin C is really cool because it's more absorptive, because it passes through your digestive system more freely and without being broken down as early in the process. It also has like ginger in it, and vitamin C, sodium, and bicurofilline. Yeah, I'll have to research that one for you guys, but it is really good. I was surprised because I really don't like this drink. I'm not someone who's like, oh, I love my greens powder in the morning, it's so refreshing. No, I hate greens powder. I put as little water in this drink as possible and just like chug it, shots. But this actually, I'm not even kidding, just adding this makes it taste pretty good. Just the little kick of spice and ginger in it, I don't know, it's delicious. So they're a really cool company. I'm working with them to possibly do a giveaway because I think this is a great product, and I think it's something that we all need right now in terms of supporting our immunity in this current crisis. Better. So if I'm gonna be up this early, I might as well be productive. And by this early, I know it's 7, but I'm on night shift, so this is early for me. I went ahead and steamed some asparagus. I almost called it cauliflower. Asparagus in the rice cooker. That takes like 30 minutes. And then I am going to sous vide this flank steak that I got from Central Market, which is like one of the coolest places that I've seen in Dallas, of like the whole 5 places I've been able to see since we moved here. So I really like flank steak. I can have like flank steak, ground beef, or salmon, but I've been struggling with acid reflux a lot, and for some reason salmon seems to make that worse. So I am going to use flank steak. I tend to like it better than ground beef as well, just because it's a little less processed, and I do feel like it's a little bit more filling, maybe because it's slower to eat, but it's delicious. So I'll show you how I make that in my sous vide. A sous vide is not a super common thing that I've seen in meal prep videos, but so what it is like a water bath, and you heat it up to the temperature of whatever doneness is done in whatever you're making. So like fish is done between like 130 degrees and like 135 degrees. Chicken is like 135 to 140 degrees. So you heat this up to that temperature, whatever the doneness needs to be, and then it cooks for a certain amount of time. Usually it's a couple hours, and it just slowly heats up the meat to that exact internal temperature. So it's really cool because while it does take longer than like throwing the fish in the oven for 15 minutes, it doesn't take that long to prep it. I can leave it in the water bath and it can't technically overcook because it always stays at that temperature. So like I can throw it in there, but like go to the gym, and even though it cooked for just an hour, it can stay in that water bath because it'll just maintain at that cooked temperature and won't overcook. Also, when they associate carcinogens with meats, it's usually when the meat is cooked, especially when it has a more than a sear, almost like a crust from high heats, and that like crispiness you get on the outside of the meat, that has chemicals in it that is associated with the cancers. So like colon cancer. So that is one reason I like to do it. I bought this when I did carnivore, and it's been like a game changer because I can make so much meat at once, and I know it's healthier. It tastes delicious. The fish is like amazing. Like I don't get tired of fish, even though I eat it a lot. And the steak is awesome. I mean, you can, a lot of people will just like toss it in a pan a little bit, but I love it how it is. It just like melts in your mouth. So I'll show you how to make it. So this is the Innova. That's what kind of sous vide I have, and it connects via Bluetooth to my phone. So I just choose a recipe, and they have like a whole bunch of recipes if you wanted to make fancy things, but I've already saved mine. So I have flank steak saved here, and you can see it cooks at 131 degrees, takes 7 hours. And of course it can stay in for longer if it needs to, if I'm not home. And then you just say, cook this recipe, start Innova, and it starts heating up. I don't know why it's beeping at me. I don't think there's enough water. Way to go. I've only done this 42,000 times. Okay, so added some water. That definitely worked. So now it's heating up to the correct temperature. It'll keep going. I put hot water in there just so it heats up faster, but it really doesn't take that long, like 15 minutes max to heat up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and prep the meat itself. I was getting this flank steak from Costco, and it was so fatty, and I was having to get rid of almost half of it. And granted, this is for my higher fat meal, but I don't want to eat like big white chunks of fat. Like I'm cutting out almost all of it. So you can tell like this is so much better. Just like really pretty. Not a ton of fat at all. Like Costco's was like chunks of white fat. It was disgusting. Macro liked it, but you know, he's a fatty. Also, he has stupid genetics. So 3 of those bad boys. These were, the biggest one was like 18 bucks. So, and this will last me probably 2 weeks, which is nice. If you make extra in the sous vide, you can just like take it out of there and freeze it. Like, I made this cod, and I just will make, like, I'll get the Costco bags and make, like, all of it. I'll do, like, 2 or 3 big bags of cod, and then I'll leave one in the fridge, and I will freeze the other ones, and then I just thaw them in the fridge, and honestly, they taste just fine. Like, they're not, like, super, like, they're very, like, juicy and flaky anyways, so when they thaw, they're not, like, overcooked, or if you have to thaw them in the microwave, they don't get, like, dry. So, I'm gonna go ahead and prep these and throw them in there.
俺のターンかけるタップベロ夢と期待モテドライ首にないいつか濡れる愛仕掛けてやるトラップ避ける術はないぜここから俺の番やがてでか世界へで二で決めろ勝敗10-0あんねぬ上を見ろ No rain no rainbow 理解できないやつのぶち抜くの手を束になって湧いて去って中指立ってろそれから得たヒント知るでも答えてないよだったら自分に問いかけてみそうだろ明日は我が身 Yeah 晴れの日フェリ乗り切るからトリップ捨てることはない窓からゴミやりたいことやったらいいのに貫くことやめたらな終わり Brand new car ain't noisy マジうるさいダサいやつにかけるイかれた排気俺は一人じゃないけどロンリー人は一人で生きてけないよ、yeah何言っても届かないよモノフェク何言っても届かないよお前らのセンスじゃ追い抜けないよ当たり前のように俺は次に行く大場きとして車内で溶けるチョコ生き残るぜですレース叫びからすのと上の上まで描くさらにその上の夢を
Also, I apologize to anyone who is kitchen slash chef slash food savvy who I may have offended by my reckless cutting techniques and messiness. I realize that you do not have to cut up the flank steak to cook it in the sous vide, just so you know. You can put the entire flank steak in there. I cut it up so that it's easily in there and I can just grab out my servings each day. And I don't really care about cutting technique or anything because I'm just trying to get it done. So, I'm reckless in the kitchen. I have no culinary skills at all, but I eat what tastes good and I like cooking the way that I do it, so I apologize. Some old man at the gym. It's easy to stay lean when you're young. I bet you eat whatever you want, and you don't even have to think about it. You'll have to worry about it one day. Me. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, lunch, meal 6. Back from cardio and abs, and I'm going to have my first meal, and then I actually have a massage. So I haven't had a massage or a chiro adjustment in a couple months. So I am really excited to have this done. Oddly, like, I haven't felt very stiff. I haven't really had any like nagging pains or anything. I had some hip tightness for a little bit at the beginning of prep, but since I've started cardio, I think it's actually helped really open things up because you're just moving so much. Your tissue really has to be fluid and flexible, and you're moving a lot every day. So I'm excited to have the massage done though, because I think I'll realize how tight I actually am once they work some of that out. So Macker's being a potato. I walk in and he barely even moves. Someone's like, what's his demeanor? I'm like, he's literally just a spaz. Aggressive breed alert. I know, you're such a monster. Hey guys, back from my massage. It is 4 p.m. Came home, the sous vide is finished. So This is the plain steak. It kind of looks like a weird color, but once you open it, it's like nice and pink. So good. This is probably like medium rare, so you can cook it at a higher temperature if you like it a little bit more done. But I literally just take it like this, dry it off, and then throw it in the fridge like this. And I can just, you know, grab my little steak slices out of it when I have it later. Macro's upset because of the beeping. He has a lot of anxiety and it's been beeping while I was gone, so that's great. So David at Willowbend Fitness Center, that was awesome. He gave me like a really good massage. He like just finds like where you have adhesions and we'll just sit there and like work it out. So full body, I feel surprisingly better, even though I didn't really have any like nagging issues. There were some spots he found that I'm like, okay, yeah, that doesn't feel right. So I'm glad that he was able to get in there, and hopefully I can do that regularly. I also talked to Coach about sleeping. I try not to message him throughout the week too much. So I asked him, I just let him know, I'm like, hey, I feel like, here, let's stop this. I feel like I hit a wall with sleep and I'm having like really bad acid reflux, and what's going on? Am I okay? I'm so dedicated, I don't wanna like, you know, hit a wall and not make progress now, I don't know. And he was like, LOL, I expected this email any day now. So it was good to know that what I'm experiencing is normal. So he gave me some recommendations for that. Since he said it's acute for me, the GI distress, we're just gonna stick with like Zantac, Prilosec kind of thing, just to reduce the acid overall. And then I was gonna throw in some betaine hydrochloride just to help with stomach acid production. And then as far as sleep goes, just, you kind of have to embrace it. Like there's things you can take, there's things you can smoke, but I think I'm just gonna start with melatonin. I have a couple supplements I'm gonna add in, I'll show you guys when I get those. And increase some ashwagandha. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna eat real quick, and then I'm actually kind of sleepy, so I'm gonna take a nap before leg day. And I'm really happy because I haven't really been sleepy and I need sleep.
仕掛けてやるトラップ避ける術はないぜここから俺の番やがてでか世界へデータで決めろ勝敗10-0姉の上を見ろ No rain no rainbow 理解できないやつのぶち抜くの手を束になって湧いて去って中指立ってろそれから得たヒント知るでも答えてないよだったら自分に問いかけてみそうなら遊ばばだみ
So I was able to take a successful nap, 2 hours. Felt great after, hit legs. Felt pretty good. Strength still isn't awesome, but I'd say for where we're at, it's pretty good. So just made some tuna. I showed you that. And I just prepped my meals for tomorrow for work. So I've got cream of rice with protein powder for my first meal before I work out. I'm gonna do that before work. And then I'm going to come home and have fish and an English muffin, which I'll just make here. And then when I get to work, my first meal is egg whites and cream of rice. Second is fish and asparagus. Third is steak and asparagus. And then when I get home from work, I get an egg white omelet. So that is gonna wrap up this video. Thank you for watching. I'll keep you guys updated on how things are going, whether or not I can ever actually sleep again, and if my esophagus becomes eroded with acid. So thanks for watching.